Hello, friends. Welcome back. This is Shipbreakers, Stars Without Numbers Revised, Episode 8. And we are, of course, joined by our crew of courageous crewmen. No, I should have gone with just courageous crewmen. Mentioning crew twice is a bad idea. If you look on the YouTube thumbnail of this video, you will see the new character art, which I was not able to functionally get working before this stream. I wasn't able to get it on screen, but next stream we should have some way that you can see the portraits of all of these people as done by artist Lazy Honeybee on Twitter. You can find out more in the description section on YouTube. The crew of the LAS Golden Goose, they've got problems, we've got solutions. Let's hop into it. I believe we have some goals to talk about. People are pointing. People are nodding.
I can go first for my short term, I guess, because I didn't accomplish it last time. So I want to stick with making Yono feel like part of the crew, hopefully by getting her involved in the salvaging. If we don't get that far, I guess smaller sub goals still make her feel like part of the crew by whatever it is we're going to do this session with.
Make Yono feel like part of the crew.
Yeah, with June Koto. Maybe she's good at deciphering poems. Who knows?
Hopefully someone is. Quentin's goal remains the same. He is looking to get everybody through the salvage mission, which lies ahead.
Good.
MINERVA eventually. My short-term goal is to take Capybara Maximus riding lessons.
Take Capybara. Well, you were planning to be on station for a while, perhaps.
One lesson.
I heard lessons, so, I'm going to hold you to the S.
Okay. My long-term goal remains the same. And probably won't get touched this session.
Make a giant pile of money and convince the captain to pay you.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a response from Van-Vee's parents.
Unlikely. The message has to travel to them and then travel back. And you are continuing to move further away from them galactically.
What is like an average travel time for a simple message?
So most messages are sent repeatedly through exchange satellites.
Right.
So, in general, they're going to move at the fastest speed available, which is going to be a level 3 jump drive, right? Because there are enough people who have them that they will regularly transit the route. So probably 2 weeks round trip. But as you get further away, more time gets added to that.
Right.
I make a piloting roll to cut that in half.
No, absolutely not. If you wanted to be the message and show up and be like, surprise, I'm your gift. That's a whole different story right there. That's a real Christmas story, but all right.
Oh, gosh. Sleepless and Thord.
As this crew approaches, there are no instructions on how to dock. The massive rock before you has a large docking collar around it to which many ships are docked. And as it rotates, you can see that the Prince Valdrenor, a converted bulk freighter, which is easily the largest ship here, is hanging off of it. But there's also numerous bulk cruisers with Trinity Corporate Alliance flagging, all docked, seemingly taking goods on and off. There are a number of ships that have simply parked nearby in a sort of orbit and then are taking cargo lighters over. There's no hey, these docks are open for you, or feel free to land. The only thing you're getting are repeated electronic warfare attempts as someone, probably dozens of people, are attempting to hack onto your ship and are being immediately rebuffed. Scams, pleas for help, and also it looks like local prices of taking on fuel or food, oxygen, heat sink supplies, that sort of thing, are 10 times higher than normal. It seems like fresh food and oxygen are at a premium aboard Omora 9. So there's like spaces you can land on this rock and then walk inside, but there's no instructions on how to dock forthcoming.
Is there a way to like scan and see perhaps where other ships have docked or landed?
No, you can physically see several open docking spots, but there's no like, you have no idea if those are like reserved parking places. Like if people know not to park there, you know, like, you don't park your car in this neighborhood or else it will end up on blocks or something, you know?
They wouldn't dare do that to a ship that's marked from Lita.
We don't know.
If only did you guys actually, I think you rejected the Sashimono from Trinity
we
Corporate.
took the
you accepted it? Okay, then probably people would not dare touch the ship, you think?
That's part of why we were.
Feels like you can land pretty much anywhere you want to.
All of a sudden, all the docks say, pick me, pick me.
Yeah, I mean, can we just look around for a likely spot that seems,
park anywhere,
usable, but
yeah.
I do that thing where I take like a lap around, scout out all the spots in a parking lot, and I pick one where there's no one on either side.
Like that looks
pick one where it looks like the
cars
on either side are kind of new and well maintained, less likely to be recklessly hitting you.
And away from the shopping cart return.
Yeah.
As you're docking, Iono comes up to you, Quentin, and says, Quentin, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, I got a couple minutes.
I've been going over the data from the probe, and not everything I'm seeing here matches up with the story you told me. So I just want to confirm a few things. The only thing you saw was a mysterious traveler who spoke to you. Van-Vee was a small cloud of dust at the head level. And the probe, Louis, and the black hole, essentially. These are the only things you saw in there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's definitely other things in there with you. And she just like holds up a raw data stream like the Matrix, and she's like, I mean, it's pretty clear when you look here. There are obviously other things out there. At least 2 other entities were present.
Really? I'm like close by?
I think at least one of them was on the ship, as far as I can tell.
Do you know? Interesting. Do you know where?
I mean, this is my first pass at the data, and
fair.
I have to interpret it through the metadimensional matrix. It's hard to say.
Send me a copy. I want to review this and just try to meditate and think back on my memory. See if there's anything that comes out.
We've had a pretty loose relationship so far, but that was nowhere in your agreement with Dr. Kuhn, so I'm probably going to need to get permission from the university before I share the raw data with you. I mean, I hope you understand, but I don't own this data.
Absolutely. There's definitely bureaucracy involved in academics. I fully understand that. Let me know if there's any paperwork that I can fill out. I'm
going to have to write. I mean, listen, by the time I get permission, I'll probably be back with the company, but I'll see what I can do.
Not wrong. Okay.
What if you just, you just happen to leave it on this counter for a couple minutes, go get a coffee and come back. And that's all, nothing major.
Why don't I just go get a coffee and come back? Why don't I just do that? She just leaves the fridge to go get a coffee. She doesn't
you forgot
leave
that?
No, I didn't forget anything.
I just don't think that's her vibe. Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, she seems really interested in what I mean, it's her field of study, I suppose, but what do you think she's driving at with two other creatures or two other things, whatever they might be, and one of them was on the ship? I mean, should we be concerned about her or concerned about you? I mean, you did take that nasty spill after. Thank God MINERVA, carried you to medbay and cured you of cancer or tumor.
Maybe I can't say that I am normal. There's a lot that has happened in a very short amount of time, a much shorter amount of time than you can possibly imagine, really. But I think there's some of it that I need to think about and figure out a little bit, see what dots I can connect before I can really make heads or tails of it. Right now, I just don't have answers, and I was hoping Iono might help me with that, but she's definitely, going to follow things by the book, and that means getting those answers from her might be a little bit more difficult, and there might be a little bit more give and take here that I have to do to negotiate.
As you're saying that, the ship softly cushions itself as it enters into a slight collision with a docking arm, and then it gets automatically pulled and set down on the deck.
Van-Vee makes it look like he's doing it by pushing a joystick that doesn't do anything. Cap, I just can't help but notice that, Iono seems full of knowledge, but it seems like she's a lot more of a taketh of information than a giveth when asking you these types of questions.
You get a text message as soon as you finish saying that, Van-Vee.
Oh, crap. Oh, sorry, one sec, Cat.
It's from Iono asking you to join her in the auto dock.
Ooh, I'll be right back, Cap. Just gotta go take care of something.
All right, yeah, no problem.
Saunter on back to the auto dock.
Yeah, Iono's there. She's got her lab coat on. She's changed into Crocs and gym shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, I'll be look at that coat. You looking mighty spiffy right now, Doc.
Yeah, are you feeling okay?
Yeah. Why should I not be?
All right. Listen, I'd like to ask you a few questions and then run some tests here, but I need your permission first. I need you to sign here and here before I get started.
What's this all about?
I'm gonna need you to finish signing that paperwork before I can tell you that.
I think Van-Vee flashes back to every time he signs something, it's usually either to the detriment or trying to help his family, and ends up being to the detriment. He's like, well, can you just give me a little hint? Can you at least tell me, is this going to negatively impact my family?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to make sure you're okay.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Looking out for me and all. I make some sort of check and see if that's what she's actually doing.
Yeah, of course you can make a check. I would never stop you from rolling dice. I think notice with wisdom might be a good call here.
Oh, this could be nice.
Could it be nice? Well, show me those dice rolls then.
Oh wait, I clicked it 6 times. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Strength. There's something is definitely slowing my computer down. That's massive lag, but that's okay. Wisdom, notice, go.
Well,
damn.
She is looking at you as if she is worried that you are going to hurt her.
That's totally not what I was expecting. What you seem a little unsettled, Iono. Is it something I did? I mean, I feel like we should be able to talk about this without me having to sign paperwork.
Okay. She holds her hands up and takes a step back from you and says, okay, calm down. There's nothing wrong here, Van-Vee.
Okay. I'm probably like looking around like, what is there something in here with us? Should I be scared or something?
Just take a deep breath for me real quick. And then breathe out.
Oh, we're doing some of that yoga that Louis teaches us. I got you. I close my eyes, take a deep breath. Is this it? Are we done?
Yeah. So about that paperwork.
Well, I gotta say, you're making me feel a little uncomfortable harping on this paperwork. But if it's what it takes,
I'm doing this for your privacy and safety. I can't disclose certain facts until you've signed this disclosure and given a waiver on some of your medical rights.
Well, that last part sounds a little suspicious. Why would I have to give up
trying
medical
to help
rights?
you, I think. But
Do I know if she's like, I know she's scared of me.
Yeah,
but
she's scared of you, but she does. I feel like the 12
She's coming
tells
from a
you
good
she
place.
is genuinely trying to help you, as long as you are not going to hurt her in the next few minutes.
I feel like this is a total setup. But this is just like pushing the button on the pen I didn't get to push. So let's sign.
Okay, you sign. All right. She says, kind of casually, have you ever thought about killing all humans?
Sorry?
Okay.
No? What kind of test is this?
What if I told you humans only have blue skin from now on?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This is a good start. Can I ask you to sit down in the auto dock chair here so I can run a few more tests?
Sure. I guess this is why I had to sign, right? Just, don't remove anything, right? Just looking, right?
Yeah, this is just diagnostic.
That makes me feel a little better.
So your full name is Vandorn Vantis, correct?
That is correct.
And your home planet is...
Well, I guess depends what you mean by home planet. I grew up on Midapile with my family, and I got educated on Thord, but I don't know where I'm from before that.
I see.
Do you know something about where I'm from?
Writes something down and says, and you are human, right?
Well, shoot, I sure hope so, as far as I know.
Okay.
Wait, what? It feels like you know something about me here that I don't know.
The auto doc says that you don't have any appreciable levels of metadimensional energy in your bloodstream or in any of your tissues.
Is that normal for humans?
That's very normal for humans. For instance,
okay. I thought you were trying to tell me I got cancer here.
Either. No.
Okay.
I think
so this is
that
good.
there's something wrong with you. I think that there's something in your brain.
In my brain?
Yes. I'm not totally sure. I'm going to have to double check the data. But based on what I'm seeing here and from Quentin's testimony, you are not a psionic. And so you should not have shown up on a metadimensional level. You would not be present but something was present in the area you would have occupied.
Well, I'm just going to have to take your word on all that because I don't know anything about this meta-dimensional
I'm
stuff.
taking the captain's word on this, but there is data to, again, this is a speculation. This is like a first pass, a rough draft, but there is a correlation between the captain's testimony of what happened and what I'm seeing here in the data on a rough pass. I think that you may be infected with something. My earlier diagnostic tests were to make sure that you weren't an artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. You cracked me up.
She gives you a blank stare.
Okay, all right. So I can tell you're serious about this. So how do we? I mean, I don't have anything but to go on your word here. So how do we rule this out?
I don't have anything to go on here but the captain's word and some loose interpretation of data. If nothing, if you don't think anything's wrong, right? This all comes as a surprise to you.
Yeah, of course.
Then I have no further. We don't know whether this is something you've always lived with, whether it's something that is recent, whether it's because of the probe something happened to you. Is it malicious? Is it benign? I don't know. I don't have the data. It's going to take a lot longer for me to fully interpret this. And even then, it may not have anywhere near a fraction of what I need in order to determine the truth of this matter.
So that there's what I was hoping to get to the bottom of. I thought we could get the truth here with the auto doc, but you're saying we need more data.
The auto doc is a machine capable of extremely basic medical procedures.
Okay.
I think even a medic would tell us more, but I don't know that a medic is qualified to do. I think we may need a Maltech doctor. One who also has a dual background in psionics. I think the only way you're going to get that kind of treatment is, I mean, I hate to say it's only at the Royal University, but I suppose some planetary governments or Phenana Fleet may have the kind of specialty you're looking for.
All right. So it sounds like we got some options. In the meantime, we'll just be cautious. But
and I can't say that this is anything. It could have just, the captain could be wrong, or he could have misinterpreted something visually, right? I mean, he's the only person who's ever done this, according to my knowledge. And, the data I'm looking at, I am drawing interpretation based on his testimony. So, again, I think we just need to approach this slowly, and you need to be aware of any changes that happen with you.
Well, all right. If something changes, I will be sure to let you know. I'll consider you my doc therapist in the meantime.
No, absolutely do not do that at all. I'm not qualified. I am a doctor of historical studies and metadimensional paradigm. Please, I'm not a medical doctor.
I'm confused why I had to sign papers to give away my medical rights, but okay. All right. I'll trust you.
Well, technically, this test now belongs to the university.
I see. All right. So this was, I see.
Part
You were
of the
just trying to help me
probe
out.
Experiment.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I get to know all the goody information now.
I know. I am trying to help you. I'm deeply concerned by this situation.
All right. Well, I think Van-Vee's trying to like lighten the mood, but he just keeps bringing it back, and he's getting a little sad. Like you can't tell if like he's supposed to be like, she's basically saying you're going to die soon. There's something eating you from the inside and you don't know it.
Are you okay? She's like looking, because you're still hooked up to the auto doc. She's like, there's some fluctuations in your numbers right now. Are you all right?
Yeah, I got to
Describe
be
your
honest,
emotional status.
Well, the more I talk to you, it's getting depressing.
Okay, I'm very sorry about that. I really like thinking about Louis sometimes. It helps me get through some of the harder moments on this ship when I thought you all were ruthless criminal murderers and I was locked in my room with a bunch of insane people. Just thinking about the princess and how hard she works for all of us, and thinking about Louis and how fluffy he is, and he's got like multiple colors, and it kind of just reminds you of like a rainbow or meta-dimensional drill space. Just think happy thoughts about oranges, capybaras.
I could really go for an orange
Royal
right
princess.
about now.
Yeah.
I feel like Louis does walk into the room at that point.
Offers
With a
you
well-timed orange.
an orange, yeah. Your
How,
blood pressure immediately drops 12 points.
Ooh. How wired up am I to this thing? Like, do I have to stay here until she unhooks me, or can I just like?
No, I mean, you're in the auto
point?
dock. Like when you're seated down, it probably like cuffs you, and then if you make any attempt to get up at all, it uncuffs you automatically based on sensing you. Right.
Gotcha. So is there any more data that's needed here, or I appreciate the warning, and we'll have to investigate this, but
I don't think so. I think it may be I might have to ask you. I'll definitely have to ask you more questions once I know more. And it probably isn't a bad idea for you to get, let's say, daily checkups, just to make sure that this doesn't advance.
All right, that sounds fair. I guess I just have one final question.
Okay.
How come you only telling me this? You're not telling Captain and Minerva.
Well,
and I say this fully knowing that Minerva's listening.
First, I didn't discover the data until I was drinking my cup of coffee a few minutes ago. And also, it is your medical tests. So if you want to tell them about this, about the medical part, you're free to do so. For anything outside the medical part, your non-disclosure agreement still binds you.
I feel like Van-Vee be like, oh, you mean privacy to whoever this data belongs to?
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I just had to stretch a little bit. This seat's uncomfortable, and the wires and gizmos you got me hooked up to, my neck was getting stiff.
On the bridge with the captain, Minerva's armature just...
You okay?
I'm okay. Just moving, repairing a drone.
So you are allowed to leave the ship because there's no one to stop you, but you will need to go sealed in suits because it is a hard zero walk, several hundred feet to the docking bay door.
Right. Let's go find ourselves what's his name? Yon Koto?
Who are you bringing, and who are you leaving on the ship?
Someone has to stay. This is not,
This station is ECM'd.
I
First
don't
question
think
every time.
I don't think the station is ECM'd. The MFH is ECM'd.
Okay, so I could still reach the ship if I get off.
As long as that cruiser doesn't get within jamming distance of the station, the answer to that question is yes.
Okay. It's for my own awareness. Minerva says nothing.
So, Cap, usually two of us go out, someone stays with the ship. I'm just wondering, given my history, if you think in a place that is already a little overly violent, does it make sense for me to go, or do you want me to stay in the ship? I'm happy to do whatever you think is best here. Supposedly, we're just trying to recruit this fella that has the map, right? Maybe just buy it off him, or heck, maybe even just see if he needs help and get him off planet and try to negotiate then. I don't know.
That's the main goal for sure. But honestly, Van-Vee, I feel like if we need you anywhere, we need you here. So I think you got to go. Minerva You're important. We need you out there and on here. I don't want to go just two people out there. This is a place where three is important. I feel like the more the merrier to a degree.
I mean, I have some extra routines installed on the ship that are accessible from the pad. If something were to happen to the ship, I should get an alert.
Is Iono?
If you
Iono's
want me to
probably
go.
sticking around, right?
I mean,
Like,
do you ask Iono to come with you?
we're not. I wasn't specifically planning on it, but like, I don't know. She.
It's an opportunity for Van-Vee and his go.
Yeah.
It may be
cool,
worth,
yeah.
sorry, it may be worth just letting her know we're, I mean, perhaps not the most hospitable planet and welcoming planet for her to be on, or not planet, but
She didn't express an interest in specifically staying here by any means, so I don't think she's really interested in visiting the sites too much.
I'm going to stop this because I'm going to do a 24 style multiple camera thing right now.
Yeah.
But 3 of them are the 3 of you. But I'm going to give you the 4th one because Minerva's aware of everything that goes on the ship. And it's Iono on her personal data companion. And she's just like, oh, Brighton, you're here. Okay. Yeah, I'm let's call it a vacation. Yeah, I'd love to meet up. Yeah, you know, I did hear from the professor you were looking for something like that here. Yeah, you know what? I do know something about that. We should probably meet up. Okay, so you know that Minerva's getting on her personal terminal and is Googling what the furthest point from Jun Koto's location is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Meet me on, there's a hashish shop on deck 23. It's the first time I've ever tried hashish. I thought if when in Omar and I do like they don't. Let's just try it together, Professor. I got my doctorate, but I really appreciate that. Okay, yeah, I'll meet you there I just start making your way there now. Okay. All right, she hangs up the phone and starts heading towards the bridge.
So on the bridge, while you guys are talking about her not wanting to be on the planet and whatever, Minerva says, I think she's a naturally curious woman who might wish to have her own experiences in this new big galaxy.
She pops onto the bridge and goes, hey, Professor Brighton is on station and he's like pretty close to finding Jun Koto. I'm going to go distract him real quick. I mean, if you guys want to get this map, I'm buying you. How long does it take to smoke hashish? Does anyone know? You smoke?
I feel like Van-Vee definitely does.
She looks at the 3 of you like staring back, and she goes, okay.
It's a bit of a social call. As long as you continue to talk, you can continue to smoke.
Yeah, listen, I don't feel comfortable lying to him. He's kind of an authority figure and kind of a big deal on campus. Just you should go now. And she's like putting on her hard suit helmet.
I just gotta say, I get the vibe that if you just keep asking this guy for stories, he'll have them. So just keep priming the pump. But we will hustle. Thank you for your efforts.
You can see her like changing out of Crocs into regular shoes to put on spacesuit boots, and she's just like, "Yep, yeah, whatever you say, Quentin." Yeah.
Iona?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you guys have been all right, and you've paid me, and if Brighton gets his hands on this thing, it wouldn't be bad for the university, so don't quote me, but he would put it in a museum. Maybe that's good, and maybe that's bad. As she, like, you could see her down the corridor, like, stepping into the middle of the ship where the elevator down is, and she says, he'll put it in a museum. you guys, you'll fuck around and find out. And as she says that, she hits a button, and then like, the middle of the ship cuts itself off and slowly lowers the central section down so she can get off.
After she
Quentin
hits the
turns,
button,
to
Van-Vee's
that,
like, "Oh, go ahead, you go first."
No, I was just gonna say, it seems like she's getting the idea.
After she hits the button, Van-Vee be like, "We'll fucking figure it out, and then we'll put it in a museum."
There you go.
It seems that her impression of us has improved.
I'd say she's,
Somewhat.
at the very least willing to be helpful, and I'll take that right now. Honestly, I think we need all of us to get this done. Minerva, can you put the ship on lockdown? I know there's no quantum ECM right now, so we can feel comfortable leaving. And look, I think I can get back here in a hurry if we need someone here.
If I lose access to the ship while it's in a lockdown state, it will remain in the last state that I put it.
Perfect.
And if you can arrive aboard, you can lift the lockdown at your leisure.
Excellent. About how big is this station, just out of curiosity, or the like inhabited area of the asteroid?
There's several 100,000 people that live here, but a lot of that space is taken up by vertical agriculture.
Okay.
There are large portions of dusty tracts of land. It's essentially the size of like a small U.S. state. Like
Okay.
Rhode Island, maybe.
Okay.
It's considerable.
Okay. Yeah, but we will probably be mostly nearby the spaceport, hopefully. We'll see how far away we get. But I think I can get back here pretty quickly if need be. I think it's worth the risk.
Just to be clear, spaceport implies industry, commercialization.
Sure.
This thing is a ring that goes around the planet
Docking
that
ring.
you can dock in and out of.
Okay.
Well, Cap, let's not forget our ship is. I mean, we are currently under the protection of the Sinester or flag of Sinester.
Exactly.
Cartel,
I think it's worth the risk.
I think we'll be all right.
Agreed. Well, let's saddle up. Grab what you need.
Are you
Minerva will
bringing-
take the armature, put on a suit, and pre-drain enough air that when we make it to the station, it looks like she breathed her way there.
Wow. Are you bringing Louis?
Oh, that's a good question. There are a lot of copy maxes on station, so it wouldn't be strange. It is a somewhat dangerous situation, but does Louis seem like he wants to come?
Louis seems like he's comfortable wherever he is.
Generally, just a happy bud.
He definitely is. Well, so as not to give people any extra impetus to mess with us, because I believe you mentioned something about capybara rustling being
and
a
wrangling.
thing.
Yeah.
So I think we will leave him behind, and Quentin will give him some scritches and lean his forehead into his, and just say, "Be good, relax, keep an eye on things."
Okay. He just nods slowly and then hits like a floor pedal on a device that dispenses another orange. And he offers it to you as you're getting in your suit.
Quentin will take it, and I don't. How odd would psychics and psychic powers be on station? Pretty odd, generally. It's like
You have no context for that question.
yeah. All right, he will put on the suit. He'll just go roll with it. He doesn't necessarily need it, but
Announcing your presence before even
I
showing up.
assure you that if you walk on the station without a spacesuit and anyone notices, you will definitely be talked about. That's not normal.
we'll incognito it.
But at least we know that Van-Vee has 3 times the air than he needs.
Which might be very important.
The 3 of you ride the elevator down. You catch the tail end of the decontamination of Iono. there's like a robot there trying to talk to her, and she just like is waving it off, and then like points at the three of you through the decontamination door, and makes a hand gesture, and then leaves, and the robot just like turns and waits. It's about 9 feet tall. It's got like a really fake muscular, like Batman fake muscular torso, and then like wire thin, like adjustable wire arms. You know what I'm talking about? They're like super noodly that end in like battle fists. It has a large flag on its back of the Trinity Corporate Alliance.
Mm.
And it's just waiting for you guys on the far side of the decontamination door. As your cycle clears, there's no voiceover. There's just a harsh spray down of chemicals and like beeping, and then, you know, a sign that blinks like, remove your helmet. You get a taste of dusty wind and like unwashed bodies, poop, real mushrooms, like real food. It smells like Omura 9. The robot, which is too tall at its standing to enter the decontamination room, like nods to all of you and says, welcome to Omura 9. I am to escort you.
Was this our Sashimono?
Honored visitors, I am your Sashimono.
Fantastic.
All
I will
recording
mention-
devices have been turned off on this unit.
Oh, even better. Discretion. Fantastic. Do we know the name of our destination where Junkoto is?
Yeah. I mean, you know where his home theoretically is before,
Okay.
you know, he fell into shame and exile.
Right. Well, I guess.
I take it you've been here some time. You're familiar with the station and some of the inhabitants?
Yes, I am. Would you prefer electrical Vespa transit or organic? It's a long ride to anywhere from here. And as he says that, you guys go through another door and you walk from Spaceport directly into Nevada. Just endless nothingness and a slight curvature of the earth as sand, occasional like cactus or like a wild corn plant, tumbleweed rolls by. You can see that there's like a capybara rental station with a dude who's got like carrots, and he's like gesturing one in front of a capybara who just like gently eats it down, and he sees you all and begins waving over to you and speaking wildly in Japanese. The robot gestures to him, but also gestures to like rechargeable electric Vespa scooters.
Is that the organic right there? Pointing
Yes.
to the. Yeah, I'm gonna go Vespa.
Okay.
And Quentin's now feeling bad. He feels like he really should have let Louis come for this.
Yeah, if you ride another capybara and then you come back and Louis smells it,
He did not appreciate it.
So it's 50 credit deposit and then 50 credit a day to rent these Vespas. You get your deposit back when you return it.
Okay.
You know, Captain, this is kind of a space and a time where maybe I could learn more about your affections for Louis.
That's man. You're Minerva. You're making me feel doubly guilty that Louis not here. He should stretch his legs. Oh my gosh! Do we got like 20 minutes to kill so I can go get him? No, we don't. We got to rush.
Well,
Louis.
perhaps you could teach me to ride.
Sure. All right. You know what? Let's rent you one, and I can show you at least the basics.
I'm very good at observation as well. Should you also ride, it might help me.
Oh, but Louis gonna be so jealous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to ride one, sir? Not that I'm the expert at riding them, but that way I feel like your relationship with Louis, I owe you that.
Okay. Yes. Let's do that.
So as the three of you are standing around having this conversation, the capybara manager comes over. He's wearing a 20-gallon hat. He's got a cravat and a belt buckle that says "Don't mess with Omara 9." It's huge so that it can fit all of those words in large enough print to be read from far away. He comes forward. He looks kind of like Daniel Day Kim, and he just says, well, 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 looks like we got a couple of out-of-towners here. See the three of you looking over at me capybaras. So, what is it going to take to get you on a capybara today? You looking to rent, or you looking to buy?
I think we're looking to rent maybe two capybaras. Sorry.
There's three of you here. You sure you don't want to go in for a third?
I'll be so mad.
I think some of the initial lessons may take long enough that Van-Vee could go get him.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. 2 it is then. It's 100 security deposit. You get it back when you bring the animal back, unharmed and well fed. 20 a day, and feed is 10 a day.
All right. While Van-Vee, I think, have you ever ridden one?
I was about to say, so
I think you're going to need some lessons.
funny.
I'm going to run. I'll be right back.
He probably does need lessons, but if he goes and get it, he comes back. It'd be pretty funny to be like, no skill. Okay, let's go.
I will need rolls from both of you.
Yes.
A piloting dexterity check.
Oh, man, I got this.
They both are fine.
Okay.
My system is still super delayed, so...
Wow, I rolled really bad.
So on a 7, Minerva, you are capable of causing your capybara to move in cardinal directions slowly. No fancy maneuvers.
This is a new and interesting experience Minerva has not had.
Vandorn, you have a 10. You're fucking yee-high on yours. Like,
yeah, buddy.
You sit down on yours, the capybara 100% gels with you, and you're just like, get! And he's like, he gets up to a full gallop. He's going 9 miles an hour immediately. Ooh. Just a giant hamster rodent booking it.
I shall name him Mini Goose.
That's not his name, son.
All right, what's his name?
Hamtaro.
I like it even better.
And little lady, yours is named Hastaro.
Hastaro.
Yeah, it's named after the King in Yellow.
I assume Quentin comes trotting up with Louis in tow.
What I love is that you have to get him out of his spacesuit in the decontamination. Yeah. Like, fold it up carefully. Yeah, the three of you with your saddles, saddlebags, capybaras. I assume you all have marked yourself down for 130 expenditure of credits.
Of course, yeah. I will take that out of
the captain has
account.
The wallet. Okay. And yeah, this Minerva looks over and says, I know you're trying to tell me to feel with Hastaro, but I'm just not making that connection. I think I'm having at least the leaning is working. I am going forward and I am turning.
So the Wrangler comes on over and he says, look, you're lacking the human connection here. You got to loosen up, You're holding yourself so tight, you look like a robot. All right? Just relax in the saddle a bit. You're making the capybara nervous. It can smell when you're afraid, It can smell you.
I'll endeavor to relax more and trust more.
All right. Your capybara turns its head slightly to look back at you. It knows you're not human, just to be clear.
Yeah. And I reach over and I pet it.
Van-Vee is trying really hard to hold back the comment. It's because Minerva doesn't know where to plug in.
Quentin will lean down and whisper to Louis.
Does this capybara have Wi-Fi?
Wow, what?
Wow, what?
But yeah, Minerva will do its best to keep up and try not to lose control.
Okay, so I think before the break, our last scene is the three of you, with that gait of 3 rodents moving at moderately impressive speed, 4-legged shuffle forward as you make your way across the planet.
Minerva looking super pleased.
We get the sound of like a ping of a message being received, and we see like superimposed over the screen, it says, Captain Quentin, I was speaking with Brighton. He believes Omnia Junction is not English, it's Greek. It means all things crossroads. Does that mean anything to you? Question mark.
No.
And then the screen fades slightly as we go to black. And we'll be back for the second half in about 5 minutes. We'll be back then. All right, so for the audience at home, during the break, apparently we talked about Slicer and how we wish he was here. That's the rifle-carrying mercenary who's also Psionic.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
Seemed
you
like the
take a
perfect
round,
fit.
he can bring you back.
Yeah.
One thing I keep forgetting is from a psionic perspective, Quentin experiences other people's psionic powers like synesthesia. So essentially he sees like visualizations, colors, all sorts of things, but he also smells and hears the powers as well. So if that's relevant in the future, just throw
I
it
feel
out
like you're
there.
starting to see that kind of thing from Louis leaking
Okay.
out every once in a while as his psionic powers are budding. They're being heavily suppressed by the fact that his diet is made entirely of MES control drugs. The three of you are riding through I don't want to call it a ghost town. It has all the makings of a ghost town except that it's full of people. It's poorly maintained, entirely out of some sort of like balsa wood and like bamboo and other like tree-like, but has to be shredded into something usable materials. If they were painted, it's been a while. Everything's fading here. You could see people outside are like talking in the streets. People are trying to look for work. This town on Omura 9 probably has several thousand people. All of them are very interested in the three strangers who just came in riding rental capybaras. You could see that some guy is like leading his herd of like 50 capybaras behind him through the city, and it's like a small stampede and people are getting out of the way. As you're passing by, someone pulls out a pipe and from a front porch looks at you, Quentin, and says, "So you've seen the Black Sun too, have you, boy?"
Quentin's eyes lock on him. Does he look crazy?
He's a psionic.
No. Quentin can't help himself. I mean, like Louis, he's not even directing Louis. Louis just starts to go that way because that's where Quentin's attention is.
Do the two of you follow him, or do you keep riding forward as he breaks from the pack?
I feel like in an effort to turn left to follow, I do a full right until I'm facing the right way. And
You
then
can't turn left. Three rights
See,
make a
you've
left.
driven to New Jersey before.
Yeah.
That's a New Jersey joke for people
So
that don't
many
live in New Jersey.
roundabouts.
All right, Ham Tower. Let's go see what this is about.
All right, Hamtaro does make a full U-turn so that you wind back up next to Quentin.
I feel like I get Ham Tower to do like a stop, reverse, turn, like
as
3 point.
yeah.
as you're coming over to talk to this old man with like wrinkled, tightened at the edge of the eyes, yellowing, drooping skin, everywhere else, just tired look. He could be 60, he could be 90. He's definitely old. Someone's like yelling, he's just like, "We don't like psychics around here, old man." And somebody's just like, "You outsiders better stay away from him. He's cursed."
What'd you say?
I said, "You've seen the Black Sun too." Takes another puff of something in a pipe.
Yeah, Quentin will reach in and pull out a pipe of his own and
I just want to imagine you have a vape. Like you just like you have something
that's
several
probably
technology
fair.
levels higher than a pipe.
Well, but see, yeah, Quentin likes the anachronistic part from his
Okay, so all right,
upbringing of Lita, right?
From his Amish
Yep.
lifestyle.
Exactly, from his upbringing. and offers a little from his own pouch to the guy, and says, "Yeah, I've seen something you might describe that way. Have you?"
Wouldn't be here talking to you if I had.
How did you know?
I can see it about you. Maybe one day, too, you'll be able to see it about me.
What did
It's in your eyes. You know? The hatred. Sometimes I think it's all I can see.
you think it hates us?
I think all it is hate.
I don't know what I felt.
Had me a misjump. Was the navigator. Second wave, you know? Told us it was safe. I came back and told my story. Well, they booted me out of the Navy. I didn't have anywhere else to go. It's a long story. I ended up here. Not
What's
like
your
I want to
name?
rehash my whole life with you, boy, but you need to know. People been seeing what you've seen for a long time. It's just, I think most of them probably don't survive it. And the rest of us, you know better than to talk about it.
What's your name?
Does it matter?
Might matter to me. I'm from Leda. How long you been out here?
Oh, around about 40 years. Did 10 in the Navy.
What did you see?
You know what I saw.
Have you seen anything since?
I used to see plenty. Right now, all I can see is you.
I want to see if I can look at his eyes. Does it look like he's got cataracts or something?
I mean, you don't see anything like that on general observation, but you do notice that his eyes are locked on Quentin in a sort of unnerving and unnatural way.
Okay.
Are you waiting for something?
Seems like maybe I was waiting for you.
You got something for me? What?
I don't have anything for you but stories.
And tell me.
I just did.
Oh boy, that just still leaves me with questions.
Well, I'll tell you, boy, there ain't much an old blind man who was once in the Navy can do here on Amura 9. That's for sure. They ain't letting us count the hairs on the back of a caterpillar for cash.
What's your discipline?
What's my discipline? You mean psionically?
Yeah.
Precognitive, if you'd like that kind of humor. Used to be able to see everything. Now all I can see is the future.
Call it poetic, but I do feel for you.
I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, I got a warning for you. Something's coming up for you. A sale. An offer. Something unexpected. He turns to look in the general direction of Van-Vee, but it's like he's looking over Van-Vee's shoulder. If you want to find what you're looking for, you do well to heed my advice.
What's that?
Pay attention.
I feel like my eyes are nothing but open right now. I don't know what they're seeing.
He puts the pouch that you handed him into his pipe, takes a puff, and says, I'll tell you, that ain't no Amura 9 leftover tobacco trash, that's for sure.
You keep it.
But you have the blessings of old Gahara.
Thank you. Is that a thing that Quentin would know, like the proper response?
That's his name. His name is Gahara.
Okay, I was like,
It's not
Thank you, sir.
Not a magical or religious.
It sounded
expectation.
religious to me.
I know it sounded
vaguely.
religious. But just an old man being preachy.
Sounded like it was straight out of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Blessings of Stendar upon thee.
Oh boy. Quentin will also reach his hand out and offer it to him to shake his hand. And,
You're gonna have to.
You of course, like say as
hand.
much. Yeah, like. And in his hand, he'll also give him like just a few credits, like whatever physical things might exist as far as that. But
thank you kindly. What did you
Take care
say
of
your
yourself.
name was?
your name's Quentin. Quentin Alexander Polk the Fourth.
That's a long name. Think you better come up with a nickname for yourself. When
I'll leave that to other people.
he sits back in his rocking chair. I'd hate to hold you up. I see you've got a meeting in your future you may not want to miss.
Damn precogs. You're right. Maybe we'll be on our way back through.
Don't think you will.
Quentin will swing up onto Louis and say, well, I'll see you when I see you.
I expect you might.
Yeah.
All right. The three of you continue towards where you know Junkoto is. At the edge of this dusty old town, there's like a small bazaar of people selling goods. It's like a crossroads meeting place where folks with Vespas and like hover utility vehicles with like UTVs with little cargo spaces behind them and capybaras dragging sleds all meet up. You hear a lot of voices crying out, just like people selling water, people selling food pellets. Someone is shouting for, hey, you with the wrench over here. You get a bing on your phone, Quentin. It's the one that I described at the end of at the beginning of the break.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Give me the rough recap. My brain is broken.
Omnia Junction may not be an
Yes,
English term. It might be Greek. Omnia means all things, and junction means a place of roads.
Yeah, and Quentin is immediately thinking back to a slap that he experienced, a memory that was somewhat blocked or lost from him, but has recently recrystallized. He's remembering a phrase, I will see you at the place where all things meet. And
in 1,000 years, I believe, was also the term.
It was.
And that was delivered by you yourself to your character.
That's right. Exactly. So Quentin is thinking about that. He is thinking about the length of time that his experience on the ship took, all of those things, the stretching to infinity and away from infinity of time that he experienced. Yeah.
A 1,000 years where?
Such a great question, actually.
Yeah. What is the context?
As this is happening, you hear somebody say, "We don't need your kind around here, old man." And someone like stumbles in front of you and is down on like both legs and one hand on the ground. Somebody throws mud at him, and you can see he's like holding a piece of paper. He's like, "It's real! I'm telling you, it's real! It's real! Why are you doing this to me? I knew your father." And like someone like throws a rock and it hits him in the head, and just like a little trickle of blood on his dusty face.
I think Van-Vee would get down and try to help this fella out.
As you're getting down, you can hear someone shouting in the background, "Yes, you with the wrench over here." But, you You turn away from that person, and instead you're helping the man in front of you, and he says, "Another one? Well, what are you going to hit me with?"
Well, hopefully nothing. I'm just trying to help you out here. It doesn't seem right. You're getting beaten in public like this.
I don't know that it's wise for you to associate with me publicly, but, you know, I'm real thankful.
Why? Who are you?
Kodo?
You don't say. Huh.
You know my father, Edgar?
I do not, but is your first name June?
My last name's June.
This is me, the player, screwing up Japanese names again. We're actually looking for you, the three of us.
Okay,
and we mean you no
breaks,
harm.
Immediately breaks your grass and starts running away from you.
Damn it, Captain! I did it again. Do I shoot him?
Quentin's getting Louis moving and asking Louis to calm him down if he can. But also,
I mean, there's no way he can outrun three guys on capybaras. It's just not going to happen. So if you want to chase after him,
we're friendly.
I feel like the three of you back him into like it's a several minute chase until he just calms down and runs out of energy at the edge of the bizarre, like open Nevada expanse in every direction. He's like down in the dust, orange sand all over him, and he's just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna die. The Trinity Corporate Alliance is gonna kill me. Their giant robot's gonna kill me. Okay, I'm ready.
Quentin swings down off of Louis.
The machine is here to make sure no one kills us, not to kill anyone for us.
Okay, he doesn't believe you at all.
Quentin swings down off of Louis and says, hey, hold up. No, we heard you have one of the great poems of all time, and we are literary critics. No, I'm just kidding.
Quentin, you get a bing on your phone.
He pulls it up, looks at it.
I couldn't keep him for very much longer, so anyway, I'm gonna try to keep him for like 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, bye.
All right, we don't got a lot of time. Short version, we believe you. We are interested. We want to help you.
Help me do what with my father's map? What do you want me to do?
Well, what do we want you to do? We want access. We want to help you prove that it's real. If that's a thing you're interested in.
How much are you willing to pay?
Yeah, it sure seems like you're not doing so hot. We are willing to pay what you need.
What's your top offer right now?
What's your top offer right now? He's saying all of this while sprawled in the dirt.
Might I make a suggestion, Captain?
Yeah, fire away.
It seems that Mr. June is not long for this universe. If he stays here, perhaps we could take him somewhere where he has a better chance to start a life.
Yeah,
without the
where do
imminent
you
threat
think
of
that
violence.
is, lady? I've lived here my entire life.
Well, we
You
got
think someone
contacts
else is
on
gonna
Lita.
take
We
me
got
in?
contacts on Midipile.
Sorry, did you
Where
say
do you need to
Lita? You have
That's what I
contacts
said.
on Lita.
You're looking at him.
Okay, and I'm the Pope.
And I'm Quentin Alexander Polk the Fourth. Nice to meet you.
Did I know that name?
You don't have to, but you're the Pope. I'm telling you who I am. And trust me, it's a name that's worth knowing on Lita.
Okay, I'm going to make a roll real quick to see if he believes you.
Can I take a gander at who the person was yelling, "Hey, you with the wrench," or are we too far away from them now?
You're definitely too far away from them now. I think maybe you caught a look at them. They appeared to be a data caravan seller. So they have like a utility vehicle. You know, like how the standard guy flashes a trench coat and he's got stuff in it? They have like, they pull a curtain aside and they have stuff inside the back of their van, essentially. It looked like they were selling charts, like credit sticks, like for fake credits, but also like corporate pay data to borrow from Shadowrun, like buy a hard drive from this corporation that I lifted, that sort of deal. They seem like they really wanted to get your attention, but you chose
the damsel in distress.
a different path.
Van-Vee, are you looking for something?
I just feel like someone was calling out to me before, but I was just trying to help Toto out here, even though he doesn't seem to want our help. Doesn't realize a golden opportunity when it hits him in the face.
I think the captain and I are safe for now if you want to go investigate.
He's looking at you, Quentin, and he pulls out his phone and does some quick searches, and he says, okay. So a big shot leading ambassador landed here on Omura 9. Flagged a ship and everything. And you're traveling protected by the Sinistras. All right. 25,000 credits. And he reaches into a vest and he pulls out a crumpled piece of parchment. 25,000 credits. And the secrets of the universe can be yours.
And V can't help but think all I have to do is shoot him and take it.
Oh, horrible.
I mean, maybe, but really?
Is this guy still laying on the ground?
Yeah.
At this point, Quentin will reach his hand out and offer to pull him up and say 20,000 and a lift wherever you need to go.
I want you to set me up with a new life on Lita.
I want a new life.
He turns and he pats Louis' head and he says, probably should have asked permission before I did this, but I always like capybaras.
I can get you a job on a ranch.
Sold. You got the 20,000 on you?
Yeah. Well, like, you know.
Do you
digitally.
initiate the transfer?
Has he given me the thing first?
He's holding it in his hand, but he's clenching it.
Quentin will look back at Minerva and Van-Vee and say, you cool with this?
I feel like you could have haggled him down some, sir, but he needs the money, so I guess we're doing the right thing.
You went from
Not
25
enough. Not enough.
Van-Vee would shoot for more.
I would shoot for sure.
Minerva nods and says, it seems that's what we're here to do. Let's do it.
He needs the money, sir. Let's help him out.
You got it. He pulls him up.
Okay. He hands you the poem. And it reads the following. On one side, it says, Shauna, fair Shauna, something is missing. The sky is not complete. Look beyond what you see and ask what you don't see. A line becomes a curve becomes the truth. On the other side of the paper is a weird-looking P.
For Psionic.
A weird looking what?
P. The letter P.
Okay. Shauna, fair Shauna, something is missing. What was the rest?
The sky is not complete. It's in Foundry.
Oh, sorry. Missed that.
Now, he climbs on the back of your capybara to sit behind you, Quentin, because you're got to take him to whatever ship you're bringing him out of here on.
All right.
You notice that he doesn't need to go home to pick anything up or anything. He seems like he's ready to leave right now.
This is what you got. I'm guessing we should get going. So,
Van-Vee, what's going on with you, by the way?
Sir, sorry with you. I just want to check out someone who was calling out to me back here. If you want, I can meet you back at the ship. I know the urgency of the situation.
Let's do that. Catch up as quick as you can. Minerva, hold on to this, and Quentin passes the poem to Minerva so that she can take a look. See if there's anything that comes to mind.
It doesn't know which party to follow.
V, no, I think we need the protection. We're going to keep it.
I'll be all right.
Good luck.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you, Ludemann. You were saying something.
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Minerva takes the poem, reads it, looks at both sides. Instead of crumpling up, neatly folds it and puts it in a pouch.
It looks like it was supposed to be creased and neatly folded. Like it has been dozens of times before. Probably the grease stains and rotted vegetable matter on it are not original either. They look pretty fresh. Van-Vee, you ride back through the bazaar ahead of the rest of the group and make your way back to the data caravan cellar. He looks at you from behind a welding mask and says, "Ah, you've returned. You seem like a man who's in need of a map."
It could be. What kind of, what makes you think that? Because I have a wrench.
He leans in close to you and he says, "Is that you, y'all?"
How do you know that name?
"I have a brother named y'all. You seem like him. Don't I seem familiar to you?"
Y'all is my father.
"Your father?"
Yes, sir. You do mean y'all Vantis, or is it Vostro? I don't know. He changes. What's my backstory? I made it confusing on myself. Vantis. Vostro. Well, actually, this guy might know either name because he had both at one point. You mean y'all Vostro? Yes.
Again, he's wearing a welding mask. So you're getting no emotion or any context at all behind a slight head bob. And he says, "My apologies. I thought you looked like y'all. I didn't realize you were his son."
Can you take that mask off? It's hard to. I feel like this is an awkward
"I
conversation.
prefer not to."
Well, now you got me suspicious, sir. And you have me as at an advantage. You know my father. You know he is my father, and I know nothing about you.
"I'm just a simple data caravan seller. But any son of y'all might be interested in what I have to say."
I'm listening, sir.
QZ data.
For sale?
For the governments of this sector set up the Navy blockade. There were course rudders made to OCW 5-818. An adventurous young mind might be able to breach sectors beyond imagining from there. Things the governments don't want you to know.
Why is that? I feel like you've got a sneaking suspicion.
Maybe if you go there, you'll find out. And for 500 credits, it could be yours.
I would have thought there'd be some sort of family discount. You said you were y'all's brother.
That is the family discount, son.
That's a damn good answer. Well, I did happen to have 600 credits on me, so I'll. Before I commit to that, does he have anything else on his person that looks interesting?
Tons of other shit here. Would you like to buy any celebrity data?
You've got 3,900 credits right now.
Yeah, but I only had 600 on my person.
Oh, okay.
There are illegal pornographical movies, pirated movies. There's like VR recreation and holographic data recreation of world leaders, just in case you wanted to like summon one up in a virtual space and like stalk and murder them, or shake their hand or meet them for some reason. Corporate data. I mean, again, this dude is selling highly illegal hot data, right? Like, I don't, what are you interested in buying from a data caravan vendor?
Honestly, probably more. I feel like I do this every episode.
In the 100 credit range, there's not a lot to buy here, honestly.
Okay, then probably just take the map. I was probably looking for some sort of for some reason another gift for Yono to make her feel more welcome, something to pass time on the ship. But
Just like souvenir keychains, like I heart Omura 9.
I don't think she'd like that one.
Okay.
Might see it as the sarcasm it kind of is.
I guess I'll just be taking the map, but can I at least get a name? I mean, I'd like to know if my father's ever talked to you before, or if next time I see him, I can mention, hey, I ran into.
He'll know who I am. Just say you met with your uncle. Run along there like a good lad. And thank you for your business.
And thank you for this runner.
It is double T, rudder.
Oh, for some reason I was getting confused with Blood Bowl, thinking gutter rudder. All right.
As you ride away, as soon as you're out of sight, he takes the welding mask off. He looks exactly like y'all.
I'm guessing. I mean, I didn't.
And that's a cool camera scene that's behind Van-Vee's back, and he doesn't see.
Exactly. Speaking of a camera scene that you do see, at the edge of town, Quentin and MINERVA ride past the headless body of Gahara, who is tied in a tree with ropes, blood still kind of cooling coming out of the stump where his head was.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who's that? I was taking notes. Who's dead?
Gahara, the old man.
Old Gahara.
Yeah. We'll
Knew
see
we
you on
should
the way
take them
back.
with us.
That's not likely. Precog.
I knew we should have taken him with us.
That's brutal. Quentin is
I think of note, MINERVA does not
Flabbergasted.
seem like shocked or anything like that. Like it seems like a totally, for like any other kind of person, like a today is a usual day type. Just, oh, there happens to be a guy hanging from a tree.
Quentin definitely can't help himself. He does stop. Louis stops. I mean, Louis is responding intuitively to Quentin's emotions as far as that goes. Like, he is completely shocked by the sight, unprepared for it for sure. Is there anyone around? Like,
I think when you stop, someone walks up with like a handful of rocks and hands one to you and says, yeah, we decided to get rid of the witch. You want to take a round?
Van-Vee would be shooting people right now.
Yeah, Quentin's like angry at a level that he's not experienced.
Louis looks up at you sadly. There are tears in his eyes.
Yeah, and that's like reflecting back into Quentin and out of him at the same time. So it's a feedback loop almost. He sees Louis responding that way, and it just sort of fans the flames a little bit.
Captain. Captain. There is
So the guy goes, "All right,
little
look,
to gain and much to lose."
I get it. Not everyone wants to touch him." He takes the rock and he like whams it into the dead body of Gahara. Which
it doesn't hit the body. It stops before that.
Are you using telekinetic armory on his dead body? Okay.
No, just telekinesis in general to stop the rock.
You stop it in midair?
Yeah.
Okay. He's looking at the rock. He goes, what's going on there? Is his witchcraft protecting his dead body?
You'll want to walk away.
Okay, you say something like, you say that to him? All right, he takes several steps back away from you, and he goes, a witch! There's a second witch! It was the guy talking to Gahara! You hear people in town going, what do you mean a second witch?
And Quentin's not going to wait, but he will essentially use telekinesis to cut the body down.
Okay.
And
you will need to use telekinetic armory to do that one. I don't think telekinesis lets you slice ropes.
Not specifically, no. He could, like, over
But you
time
can't just
break
make
it,
a telekinetic sword to slice through them.
Yeah, for sure. He'll go ahead and do that. And
I think that's the point where Van-Vee, comes far enough through town, makes a right turn past the saloon. Van-Vee, you see men in the saloon. One of them's pulling a shotgun from above the bar, and like 3 guys at the poker table are pulling out knives, heading out the door past you.
And this is the first time you've seen Minerva's hand on a weapon. The gun's not drawn, but Minerva's hand's on the grip.
Just to be clear, Van-Vee,
Yes.
land speed wise, you can get to Quentin much faster than these men if you pick up speed right now. And you definitely see that Quentin is angry from this distance.
Oh boy, what to do? To give into the emotions or do what's right? I feel like because the captain mentioned earlier, he can always teleport us away.
I believe he said he could teleport himself away.
I did mention I not specifically to you, but I do have the ability to teleport multiple levels.
Oh wait, that was out of character. Yeah.
Well, Van-Vee doesn't know that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well then that makes me. If I see you over there and I see these guys heading towards you, I would stay behind them.
Okay. Are you waiting until the guy who's getting the shotgun leaves? Or are you staying behind the 3 guys with knives?
Ooh, that's a good question. I
just don't know whether you're going to let a guy with a shotgun behind you.
Yeah, I mean, tactically that would be poor form. I feel like Minerva and the captain could take care of guys with knives, so yeah, I'd wait for the guy with the shotgun.
Okay, we're cutting back to Quentin and Minerva. Things are getting pretty sticky here. This guy's calling Quentin a witch. He's calling for backup. It seems like people are slow to respond, but it is happening. You've probably got about 20 seconds before 3 guys with knives are close enough to make a difference.
Do we have communicators?
Captain,
Could I talk to Minerva?
Does your character sheet say that you have communicators?
I don't know. You think
I do?
that.
Yeah,
I
You
do.
have a communications device.
I must because
I have a comm pad. Quentin does not have a data pad. He has a comm pad.
My data slab says it also acts as a communicator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It was also almost the entirety of my money.
Yeah.
Um,
The data slab's basically a laptop that, fits in your palm. So
I also have a data slab.
what was the guy hanging from?
like a semi-erect cactus.
Like a semi-erect cactus. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
You won't do anything with that.
This scene is really up in the air. I want to ask what the 3 of you intend to do here.
I intend to leave essentially with the body is my current goal.
Minerva plans
And-
to try to impress upon the captain the need to leave now, and is going to try to ride after at a quick pace, knowing that the limitations and its ability to ride. But
This
wants
is a
the
point,
captain
so-
at least wants to encourage the captain at least to run with Kodo.
Can you carry
Yeah,
at least 70 kilos telekinetically?
Oh yeah, I can carry much more
You
than
can
that.
pick up his dead body and move it with you.
I will go ahead and do that and start leaving, and use telekinesis to essentially, if this is like a very dusty, dirty area, like throw up a dust cloud, and essentially disturb the ground like a big wave of force to throw up as much as possible.
So while someone calls you a witch, you hover a body behind you. So Jun Kodo is just like, are you just gonna hover a corpse behind me? That's a little weird. Should I like grab him? What are we doing here? Like, as the two of you ride away,
You hold on.
Van-Vee rides through a dust storm as 3 men with knives. You see them just like hanging around, going, "Where are they? I can't sit." The shotgun guy is just like, shit. He ducks back into the bar as a wave of dust like rolls over you, Van-Vee, and the whole front of you is now orange.
Nice. And probably as I go by the guys with knives, God, this is the work of the witch.
Okay. Now one of them says, he's right. It's the work of the witch. Okay.
I'll proceed back to the ship, I guess, through the dust storm.
Yeah,
I assume you all
Quentin will
turn
try to like be less conspicuous and get essentially June Koto to like hang on to the body, essentially make it less floaty and ridiculous looking.
Okay. You turn in your capybaras. You get back onto the ship. Iono is like panic texting you all. She's just like, okay, so yeah, I mean that just happened. Where are you guys? What's the deal right now?
And yeah, Quentin's updated her.
Okay.
Let her know we're back at the ship or on our way wherever. Where is she?
Okay. She sent you her address. She is at a motel near the hashish bar.
Oh no. Quentin will text back basically, are you okay? Do you need help?
She's like, no, I'm perfectly fine. Should I
All right,
be
good luck.
concerned?
No,
you
we're
know
good.
something that I don't?
We're all right. We've got what we're looking for. That's what he
Okay,
sends
I'm
back.
going to make my way back to the ship then.
And that's Quentin at this point is focused on essentially the body and leading burial rituals, whatever those might happen to be, like as far as
The ground
standard
here
tradition.
will not accommodate a lead and burial. For one thing, there are no trees to plant on top of him.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Storage, is there like
Well,
cold
if we
storage
have
somewhere?
if we have unlimited medical on a ship, I presume we also have a small morgue.
Yeah,
I don't think you have a morgue on the ship. I mean, you have an
Okay.
auto dock. You do not have a full medical bay. You need a cruiser for that.
Minerva can
Orange
make something
seeds and
work.
try to get an orange
listen,
tree.
you can cold store him in the cargo bay if you want to depressurize it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the entire cargo bay. I'm sure we have other needs for
I mean,
it than
it
just
will
that.
take
Minerva
you
can take care of it.
It will take you an
Okay.
extremely short amount of time to go into space and give him a space burial by shooting him into the black hole.
We'll do that. Well, the black hole is hate to him, so no, we won't do that.
Well, it's going to be a few days before you get near a sun, so...
Yep. Quentin is, basically he is kind of distraught. He is looking at this body, trying to figure out what to do with it. And that is kind of where his mind is at. He's going through those possibilities, thinking it through. Just,
Are we on board the ship now? Have we made it
Sure.
back?
yeah.
Captain, I understand from the conversation that he's like you.
Yeah.
What are there specific beliefs that are tied to burial or something of the like?
You know, if he's leading his life to life, it's we want to plant a tree over his body and see new growth come from it. But I don't know when we can get there or when we will get there. There's a memorial station. It's not the same.
It's in the same system that you're headed to for the salvage job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's for spacers who have died, and he is a spacer here.
He died in space. This is a space station.
We'll take him there. We just need to store his body.
I will see to
Old
it.
Gahara.
Iono gets back on the ship, and I feel like just because you're always watching, you would immediately notice that she has several hickeys on her neck, Minerva.
Okay.
After like putting some foundation on and changing into something high collared, Iono makes her way to the bridge and is just like, okay, so did you guys get the map? And who is this guy?
This is our passenger. This is the source of the map.
So
Kodo, Yono, Kodo.
yeah, you've got the map then.
We do. Well, the poem,
Okay.
right? Which, as you know, that's yeah. So, and Quentin will read it to and see if there's anything. I guess basically, is there anything that we know from Zana, or
when you're reading it, he sees the other side and says, "I think that's Greek."
oh, the Greek letter P? What is that?
Yeah, I was just talking to Professor Brighton about that. You know, the Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
We talked about a couple of things. Yeah. I mean, I'm no expert on it.
Does it mean okay? Well, if it's Greek, let's pull that up. And Quentin does his Google search.
There's no data available on the station for the Greek language. For one thing, it's not spoken locally in this sector.
That's fair.
For 100 credits, you can buy a translation program.
I imagine that Minerva is linguistically acquainted.
With Greek? With Latin, maybe. With Greek, I don't think so.
Would you like me to make a no roll?
I would like you to make 100 credit transaction to buy a Greek translation program.
We will happily do so. Happily.
Yeah, so it goes to image recognition, and it believes this is either the letter P or the Greek numeral. Sorry, the Greek, character for the word row.
And that means does it say?
It doesn't mean anything in particular. It's a letter.
Oh, you say the row.
Row is a letter in the Greek alphabet.
I see. I see.
So that 100 credits was for a translator software?
Yes. You now have that translation software stored in the ship.
I would like to dissect it and integrate it.
It's
so that I know
definitely
Greek.
Dissected and integrated into the ship. I guess you're trying to absorb it into your computer program?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a program.
Or at least okay.
I mean, so the software is specifically not meant to have this happen. You're illegally hacking it, but I'm sure you don't care. So,
you'll do illegal stuff yourself. Yeah,
you now speak. Well, I don't think you speak Greek. I think you can linguistically translate Greek if you see it written out.
Okay.
You aren't suddenly able to speak Greek.
Quentin is staring at the poem part of it, so we know that the letter is Greek. Zana. Does Zana mean anything to anyone? Is this maybe a name for a sun, a colloquial sun? It's talking about a sky. It's missing a sky.
Yeah. You know what? Based on you asking if it's a sun, I'm just going to flat out tell you that the name of the sun of 0300 is Sana.
0300.
Dang, way over there.
Yes, okay.
You say over there, but it's going to be right next door to where you're about to be.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. Zana, that's a sun. That's the sky. The sky is not complete. Look beyond what you see and ask what you don't see.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, I've read those words a couple dozen times, heard people muttering them like you. My father was a navigator on a freighter, and he came back one time. He was real addled, died choking on his own blood after writing this down, acting pretty weird. I think he was drugged out of his mind.
Distances in space, in meta-psionic space, are not one-to-one. Stars aren't necessarily close to each other, and it could be something about the night sky there. I don't know. What is it a map to? Where will it take us?
That's a great question, but the other question is, when do we get to Lita?
We will
Let's see,
figure
we've
that
got
out.
1, 2,
Hold
3,
on.
4, 5 other stops first.
We have a list.
I mean,
we will get you there.
he looks around.
You're
He says,
safe.
"Well, there's open quarters, right?
There's open quarters.
You guys got a working bathroom?
We got a working bathroom.
Great. I'll be back
All
in like
the
45
amenities.
minutes."
Good luck.
He just takes a sack of everything he owns. He throws it in his room, and a literal cloud of orange dust rises up from it and settles down on the bed. And he just goes to the bathroom.
Cap, if he's going to be staying with us for a while, we could start charging him back for, the supplies he's using. Work into that 20K he gave us for something he doesn't know the answer for.
That's some business talk right there, Van-Vee. You know what? I'm going to let you handle room and board negotiations on that front. But I like where your brain's going. Recoup some costs if we can.
I mean,
That sounds great.
you agreed that you would take him there and set him up with a job.
Oh, absolutely.
It
We are.
seems like it would
I'm just
be
giving Van-Vee the
a shade dishonest to add conditions after the fact.
Well,
So-
I mean, did you promise him we'd transport him for free, like free room and board, no matter where we go?
It's say
I don't know.
help him get him to lead it. That's what
Well,
we.
I don't wanna go back
get
to
him a
the work,
job
sir.
as well. I can do that part. I don't.
I just wish to remind you of the ethics of what was said versus intentions to make otherwise. It is, of course, your
Completely
ship
fair.
captain.
No, look, hey, that is MINERVA. As always, I appreciate your input. You are an incredibly fantastic voice of reason in a room. Keep
You are
doing what you
frustrating.
do. Van-Vee is just exercising his entrepreneurial instincts, and I just hate to stifle anybody.
Yeah, so, hey, Minerva, can I talk to you in the auto dock bay?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I just want to ask you a few questions to establish a baseline of other humans on the ship. I just had some... Could you sign here and here?
I would
think you
like to
see-
read it over.
Van-Vee coughs and is like, oh, damn.
And is it the same thing that
Oh, has
Okay.
Van-Vee said anything to anyone else?
No,
about...
but Minerva heard the whole conversation.
Minerva's
true,
everywhere? Minerva already knows.
Okay, so, I mean, you
Accurate.
know that this will... one part of it signs away medical waiver, right? So that, she can have a discussion with you and perform certain experiments on you, diagnostic in nature. And the other is NDA clausing to the Royal University of Midapile, because you're part of test data that came back from the probe, i.e. the fact that, according to Quentin, you were not seen there, although we know that's a lie.
I think so. We make it to the to the auto dock before she gives me the paperwork.
Mhm.
I can sign an NDA and speak with you, but I would have to confer with the government of Midapile before I allowed anyone to do any medical testing on me.
That's
Be
going to
right
make
to
this
that.
really difficult then. But understandable. I mean, obviously, I also have to talk to Midapile. Can I ask why?
There are certain previous occupational considerations.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think there's too much to be worried about. I was really just kind of looking to make sure that you were a baseline human just like me. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we have to wait until... Look, there's a possibility that you and I never get back to Midapile together. So, we may never have this conversation in the future. But there's nothing you should be worried about. Probably.
Well, after what happened with the captain's tumor, the captain and I spoke, and of course, there was a recommendation for everyone to do an autodoc screening. And
Can I take a look at those records?
while again with the government consideration about my medical data,
No problem.
but I can say that my came back with a clean bill of health. There wasn't any anomalies.
Okay. All right.
I wish I could tell you more, but again, I'm sure you understand the
Yep.
compartmentalization of information.
Yeah, I do understand perfectly. All right, well, good talk. I'm going to go get settled back in.
If there's anything you need help with, let me know.
Just probably want to know when we're pulling away. You know, the gravity tends to shift a little bit when we pull away from the station.
I can, I'll be on the bridge. I can send a ping to your terminal right before we move.
Okay. All right, she just heads back to her room.
Okay. The armature goes back to the bridge.
All right.
While,
we
while they
continue
were
following
go
her,
ahead.
by the way, and she's sending a message to Professor Bright, and it's just like, so I really enjoyed our time together, and, you know, next time we're in port, we should meet up again and get some coffee. Thank you so much for your discussion on the Greek alphabet. It actually came in useful surprisingly soon. All right, Van-Vee, we're cutting back to you. What do you got?
I was gonna say when Minerva left with Iono, I think Van-Vee was like, hey Kat, well it's just two of us, and I guess Louis, you mind if I ask you some stuff that I probably am not supposed to ask you, so don't tell Iono?
Fire away.
She mentioned when, you know, based on the story you were telling her when you had that, you know, that meta-dimensional experience, did you notice anything with her? Did you notice her, I guess?
And that's a question that Quentin hasn't really, didn't realize he wasn't paying attention to, and will think back. And did he actually notice anything?
No.
Was Iono present? She wasn't. And he will respond, yeah, no. Actually, she wasn't there. You were. Minerva was. Louis was.
Is there well, I guess, you know, shoot, I'll just cut right to it. She thinks there's something in my head, and that's why you could see me. That she thinks that dust cloud you saw isn't me, it's something inside me. And I don't know if there's any way for you to use your psionic powers and like investigate and see if there's something inside of me or not. But well, it just seems a little odd that you could see me but not see her. And I think she's the only other human reference we have to go off of in that experience. So something's fishy about one of us, and I just don't know who.
Yeah. Well, hold still. And Quentin will kind of reach his hands out, just look at Van-Vee
completely locks
real
up,
close.
Like, don't move.
And reach out to him. And Quentin can tell whether someone is psychic by studying them, by just sort of looking at them. Is there anything about Van-Vee that is standing out in that regard? He's not psychic. Is there anything power-wise? No tendrils of anything. Yeah, I guess.
You a telepath?
I'm not, no. There's nothing. You're not psychic, Van-Vee. You're not giving off metadimensional vibes of any kind that I can see. Whatever it is, it's different than that. But
it would have been, I would have felt like I wasted all these years.
You said there was something special, something in the data?
Well, she, you know what she said to you this morning on the bridge? She said that the data showed two other entities. Yeah. And then she's piecing together with your description that apparently I looked like a cloud of dust or something. Well, apparently that's one of the entities that she may have seen. But really? she's basing that off of your story more so than I think the data.
It's terribly interesting, and I do not have answers for you. But we need to find some.
She said it would take seeing some sort of special doctor who also specializes in psionics, like someone at the universities might be able to help diagnose. But she, you know, who knows? I could have had this all my life, or this is something that is a recent occurrence. I guess what I'm trying to ask you, sir, is did that creature that went over and examined Minerva, did it examine me too?
And it didn't, right? Like, just so I'm remembering correctly, it did not. It did not pay special attention to you. No, it ignored us. It went straight to MINERVA. But
Well, I mean, I feel fine. I don't think anything changed before or after that occurrence. So maybe it's just something I've always had within me, whatever it is.
maybe.
Anyways, I wanted to check with you, but I should also mention that Iono seems, I don't know, frightened's the right word, but she seems like she not knowing what it is. She seemed pretty scared of me. That's why she asked me to go to see her in the auto dock earlier, which is exactly what I think she's doing with MINERVA right now. Although MINERVA, heard the whole thing, so took the right precautions.
Van-Vee, you said something earlier about how she's asking a lot more questions than she's answering. And I think that we need to do some work to change that, at least from that perspective. You see what you can get out of her from that front. What is she scared of?
All right, I think I can do that.
And from my end, I'll see what I can come up with about what I saw in your head, around you, as you. I don't know.
What does cloud of dust equal in metadimensional space?
And Quentin will go back to, I need to go think for a bit. And we'll poof and disappear back to his room, essentially.
Well, okay, bye, Cat.
Well, I'm no longer headed to the bridge. I'm headed to the captain's room. So just like abruptly turn in the hall and just...
You find Quentin writing a letter.
You know what? No, the armature's still going to the bridge. I'll have a hologram up here in the captain's room.
Oh, wow. Must be nice.
Captain, I hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, MINERVA, how you doing?
I have a question. I'm looking for a little clarity.
I'll see what I can provide.
I understand that your agreement with Mr. June is to bring him to Lita.
We will get him there, yeah, one way or another. I mean, if we can secure him transport and we don't have to go there ourselves, that might be a little less complicated, but we will get him there.
Sort of in the vein of what I was asking about, because at least at this time, I don't believe it would be wise for me to go to Lita.
That's very fair. If nothing else, we can keep you on the ship. Folks won't really invade that privacy by default, but yeah, I agree. We will be very cautious if we wind up in that direction, I promise you.
If it's absolutely necessary, I can make some arrangements, but I would prefer not to at this point.
Understandable. We'll see what we can do. I promise not to put you in specific jeopardy or your secret.
I appreciate your concern. Thank you for your time. And the hologram winks out.
Gwen will go back to writing his letter, and he is writing to his father and grandfather. And he writes, "Dear Quentins, this will never stop being funny to me, and I know how much it annoys you. This past year has been one of constant change. I don't know what else is coming. I know where to look for the lost Psionic Academy. I believe I will find it soon. I don't know what I will discover. But from there, I know what I will be seeking next. Omnia Junction. There's too much I don't know to say more. I love you and miss you all terribly. I hope to return with discoveries and wonders, but I have seen things in the dark that keep me from certainty. I hope this letter finds you in good health." And we'll get that sent. Mm-hmm. And he also sends another letter to his brother, Bradley. Hey, man, so things are crazy out here, and sometimes you make promises. And anyway, I'm bringing you a new ranch hand. He's got a lot of experience, so really don't worry. Can't wait to see you. Give Penelope a hug for me. Love, Q4. evens that out.
So how do you want to handle Mr. Junkoto?
Me personally, he is going to be as true to his word as he possibly can. So he's definitely going to do his best to set him up.
So
with,
you are buying a ticket for transit to Lida?
Oh, from here. Yeah. So
Yes.
I don't know. Is there transit to Lida from here that would be easily acquirable, or should that wait until we get to
No, you
essentially
could
the
make
next
it
sector
happen.
we're headed to?
You
Okay.
can make it happen from here.
Is it easier if we wait till we?
Get out of this system.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
don't we
that's
wanna
kind of
go
what I
to-
was thinking, is that we could get him the transport when we get to the next system where we're going to be doing our salvage
mean,
job. I guess that's our next.
Trinity Corporate Alliance ships leave here all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I
he
mean,
was
if
concerned
he's-
about Trinity Corps coming to kill him.
That's kind of, yeah. So I was going to say, if he's comfortable with that, we would be willing to offer, but we would hold base back on his response.
If you want to wait until you're in another system, you believe that, let me just double check how much it'll cost.
Like if we take him one jump, then at least he's not.
Yeah.
It's not
But when-
nearly as easy for someone
Yeah.
to get bribed into spacing him.
It doesn't get him
Exactly.
any closer, but it probably is a safer transit point.
Okay.
Well,
We'll
aren't
do
we
that.
aren't we in 0404 and we want to
Yes.
go to 0501? So we can only jump.
So we'll go to
hexes.
0503 first.
You have to
Exactly.
go to 0503.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we
Yeah,
can get him
which is
passage
actually
from
one
there,
jump.
and then we can
yeah.
jump.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, that works well.
Well, it's one jump for us because we have a Starfarer pilot.
Right.
Boom shakalaka.
It's one jump to Lida from there, technically, for us. Yeah.
And we can save time the way I jump, which goes jump.
Right.
Refueling will take longer.
So we'll go with that route. He'll stick with us at least for this jump.
And I'm closely monitoring him to make sure he doesn't get into anything.
I mean, I feel like you just see him spending a lot of time using the ship's terminal. Doesn't look like he has a personal data pad. He spends a lot of time learning what the internet is.
Okay.
I think he gets in several flame wars. He discovers infinite pornography. He also gets access to Encyclopedia Britannica. So he's having a real wild ass time.
I think Van-Vee would also
With
send
all
a
the
letter.
VI walking around the ship and all the amenities we have on board, it's got to be something interesting.
Van-Vee would pen a letter back home to both y'all and Sophia, and all it would say is, "Ran into Uncle. Didn't know I didn't know I had an uncle," and that's it. Basically, just trying to stir shit that Sophia's gonna have to be like,
interesting.
gonna be like, who's, because he doesn't want to.
So who's this uncle?
Yeah, he doesn't want to send it directly to y'all, because then y'all would just be like, fuck that guy or something. So
So do you
this way
send
Sophie
it
is
to
involved.
Sophie or to like the family's account?
I can't do like so y'all and Sophie.
Sure.
Yeah. That way they have it, but
Your
But-
siblings don't.
exactly.
Okay.
And then the last thing Van-Vee want to do is, hey, Minerva, I you know that guy I went to see, asking about the wrench dude. I got
Yes, I think.
I got a rudder off of him. Do you think we can try to merge this with our navigation system, so it's more permanent in our system as opposed to just reliant on this whatever he handed to me?
And I would prefer to create my own instead of copying it directly from an unknown device. But as long as it's properly formatted.
Well, you're the expert there. It's I think when you see where it goes, I think it might be of interest for all of us.
I suppose I will find out.
You're uploading the data caravan's data.
I would like to take an off-network reader to pull it up, and I will duplicate I don't want to connect it directly to the ship.
Scanning for viruses. Viruses found.
It is a ship's navigational data. It's a course rudder that's more than 5 years old that will allow you to make a jump from 0501 to 0601.
0501 to 0601.
Okay.
5-year-old rudder.
And maybe if we get another probe, we can send another message when we get to this black hole.
Some way, somehow, we have to get to 0204. That's where
I suppose after a couple of minutes, you'll get a ding on your navigation terminal that a new route has been added. And it does, warning, rudder, 5 years out of date.
0204. Wait, why 0204? I thought the poem was
that's
about
the Gemini
300.
cluster. Eventually, theoretically, 0104, 0204 should be where the Psionic Academy is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ludemann is thinking way long term.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the poem. I was like, I thought that was 300. Okay.
Do we want to make a jump to 0503?
Let's do it.
So after transit to the edge of the system, I assume you're just doing all the usual and making a theoretical level 3 jump because you're Starfarer plus trimming the course.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got trim.
As you exit the system,
And I send a message right before we jump as Aona requested. Just be like, ping, jump in 60 seconds.
I forgot about that.
Quentin
I thought when you
is
started
by
that, I
himself
thought you were going to talk about
this time.
the other AI.
As well.
I already talked to it.
As the jump happens, you experience a moment, but you have no memory of it, Quentin. It's not like you're like, this moment lasted forever. All you have is, as you transition into drill space, you have a memory of irritation, a feeling of immense surrounding irritation pressing in all around you. You don't remember experiencing it. You just remember something experienced it, and now you have that memory.
Okay.
Is there anything anyone wants to do while you make the transit?
I think Minerva's just going about normal business. Fixing things, monitoring things. Minerva's game to engage in conversation with one of the bodies if people want to talk, but otherwise is leaving people to digest their experiences.
I mean,
does anything look concerning? Does anybody look like they're distressed or anything?
I think that your read is that Jun Kodo's stress levels have dropped considerably based on his voyage. And whenever she's working on the probe data, occasionally Iono's stress levels rise considerably. And it's mostly only when she's looking at you, Minerva, just trying to figure out what's going on there.
Okay. I guess Minerva's also going to draft a letter.
Okay. Yes.
I would like to send a letter to
the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Bryce Cullington Dover the 16th Esquire.
Requesting a copy of a legally binding non-disclosure agreement. At this time, I still intend to remain as I am, and per our agreement, this is not a notification of my intent to reveal my nature. However, it appears somebody may be close to discovery, and I wish to honor our agreement by requiring a non-disclosure agreement to control the information.
Okay. Is that all you're telling them? You're not like saying who needs it or why?
No.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to do before you come out the far end?
I want to have a conversation with the Yono, but I feel like given where we're at, that's probably a next episode thing.
Oh, I feel like there's time here right at the end to fit that in. Well,
Okay.
me, go ahead and have this conversation.
All right.
This man's like, I want to earn some XP, but I don't think it's worth it. And I'm like, get your XP. Get it.
All right. So, yeah, I think I'll probably go knock on Yono's door and maybe an hour or so before dinner and try to strike up a conversation by first thing. So, we just got some interesting items off that station there. We're thinking maybe you choose what we have for dinner tonight. Your choice, and then we can maybe talk a little bit more about some stuff that you saw with the data and whatnot over. Frankly, I gotta be honest, you just freaked me out with what you told me earlier. I was wondering if we could talk about that a little more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's sit down. Maybe not in my room. Let's sit down in the dining hall.
That's good. And I think Van-Vee's very conscious never to like cross her door threshold.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, so she follows you down to the mess hall and just makes like a small algae salad, which is pretty much all the food you're ever going to get off of Amara 9. And she's just like, okay, well,
Is this okay to discuss here? Like, you don't care if other people know?
I mean, if anyone comes in, we'll stop talking, we'll talk about something else.
Sneaky. Yes. All right.
It's not that sneaky. There's not really a private spot on the ship,
All right. That's fair.
I don't have like a lab room or something I can go to.
You want a lab room?
I'm not a permanent resident on this ship.
I'm just seeing if you need anything. All right. Never mind.
I mean, it's not the worst ship I've ever been on. Again, it's also not the best ship I've ever been on.
Well, that's what we aim for. Mediocrity here.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I've been on the best ship ever. So,
Well, who can compare with his name's best ship ever?
It's the ferry. It's the carrier of the Fanana fleet.
That is a nice ship. Never been on it myself. Anyways, listen. What I gotta ask you? What do you think's in my head?
I don't know. It's possible you came into contact with some Maltech. The Mandate used to do all kinds of stuff, and you're a salvager. You could have come into contact with some sort of harmless old Mandate super technology, or even just stuff was normal back then that we just don't know about. It might be completely benign. It could even be helpful.
I want to believe you, but you seemed legitimately scared of me earlier. And that, if it's helpful, that's not something you're scared of.
Okay, well, there is something I didn't tell you.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to need you to make some sort of social check here. You can tell that she doesn't want to talk about it. That's why she withheld it.
I don't... You gotta understand, I don't want to make you uncomfortable with this, but this is my head. This is my brain we're talking about. I gotta know. So please, help me out here.
I think talk charisma would work. I would also take lead.
Talk. Let's do that.
Last roll of the session.
Oh my god, this is taking forever. Something is running in the background on my computer. I don't know what, but that's okay.
Only you're an expert. You can reroll this. It's an 8.
That ain't bad.
He hands you your autodoc results and says, look here.
Okay, what exactly am I looking at here?
In your brain, I'm not sure it's related to this dust thing, but you have an extra gland that other humans don't have. It's not a tumor. It shouldn't be there, but it is connected to your nerves, your blood supply. It looks like it's functioning normally. I just don't know what it does.
How might be a stupid question. How deep is it located? Like, is it like in the middle of my head, or is it
between
like on
both
the outer
hemispheres?
edge?
Yeah. I'm
All right.
not a doctor, but I think there are signs it was surgically implanted in you.
You mean like you can see like fractures on my skull where a drill went in or something? Huh.
Suddenly,
You think it's like
Van-Vee
a
stops using contractions.
enhanced imaging? um, well, shoot, that's a little nerve-wracking. I mean, my first thought is
it could be like an appendix, you know? I don't know
like
who
the
put it
pinky
there,
toe.
but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Doesn't do it.
Yeah, sorry. It's just taken me a few days to sort through all this data. You know, there's a lot going on here between the probe data and your medical data. For some reason, the autodoc didn't flag this as a problem. I had to sort through the raw data.
Perhaps maybe that's one area to start as well. For what reason would the autodoc think this is normal? I mean, that's got to be programmed, right?
Flags it as baseline human mandate.
But should it? I mean, it feels like someone would program it to do that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You're a doctor, a different type of doctor, but you got the lab coat now, and seems like you have all the answers.
I appreciate that. You know I seem like a real hard-ass authority figure who knows everything, but I've got more questions than answers here. And no way to consult with anybody. You know, we're kind of between star systems. I didn't really feel like a pirate port was a good place. You know, the only person I knew there was a different kind of doctor as well.
Which, by the way, thank you for doing that for us. I don't think that can be stated enough. We would not have gotten...
No problem. It was literally my pleasure, she says, winking at you.
Oh. All right, then. Good for you.
I mean, I've always been a fan, but I didn't know that... Well, anyway.
Let's leave it there.
Sure. I'm cool. Yeah, I'm... cool. You know, I'm cool, right? I'm an authority figure. I've got it together.
You are. You know, I would almost say you're getting pretty close to being part of this crew with acts like that. You helped. We couldn't have done that mission without you. That kind of makes you a crew member, doesn't it?
So if I want to be a crew member, I have to do acts like that?
Well, no, that's not. Hold on now. No. I'm just saying.
I'm just messing with
us.
you. I know what you're saying, Van-Vee.
So sensitive sometimes.
I agree. You can be sensitive sometimes, but it's all right. I think I'm starting to understand you. Mostly because I have a very complete medical scan of your brain.
Yeah, maybe that's what that extra gland is. People can just tell how to respond to me.
I know you're joking, but I can absolutely tell you that's not the case.
Oh, well, all right then. Well, you said it's connected to my nervous system and my blood system. Well, that's interesting. Would it help? I mean, I know, again, you're not this type of doctor, but what if I give you a sample of my blood? Does that do anything?
I already have a sample of your blood.
Oh, when did that happen?
In the autodoc.
Oh, okay. All right then. Never mind. Well, I appreciate you being this forthright with me, and I really do think, in all seriousness, you are a valued member of this team. Whether you know it or not, or whether you want to be or not, you have helped us.
I feel like you're really Stockholm syndroming me into this, but I do feel a connection to this crew against every judgment in my body.
Well, that's great news to us, I guess. I don't know. That was a weird answer.
I'm deeply worried, actually. I'm worried that I'm just adjusting to the environment around me rather than reacting to good common sense.
Oh, heck, that's what college is all about.
I feel like that is the end of the episode. It's just sort of trailing off after saying that. All right, let's look at these goals. You get 1 experience for the treasure map.
Yeah.
Minerva gets 1 experience for the capybara lessons. Van-Vee gets making everyone feel like part of the crew, and 1 for find your mother.
Yeah, buddy.
Quentin gets 1 for get everyone through to the salvaging job, and 1 for find the high-tech Psionic Academy.
Hey.
You will need to have new goals for Van-Vee and Minerva. Quentin, you could change your short term at any time, and we need a new crew goal for the next session. But you guys aren't good at coming up with goals on the spot. I just wanted to see if you wanted to decompress after this episode, because like all of our episodes, it feels like a lot happened in a very short amount of time.
I know what I want to do next episode.
Yeah?
We get to 0503. I want to convince the captain to wait until I get that response from Metapol in system.
Interesting.
Will that take like
because of her, because Minerva's. Yeah, so I'm going to try to convince you to stay in 0503 for 2 weeks to wait for that response from Metapol because of how close Iono is to sharing some disturbing information about Minerva, so that we can have a session where the crew sits down with Iona and asks her to sign a sheet of paper. So we can explain to her why she needs to be particular about that data and to come out to her as an AI.
Interesting.
Amazing. Somewhere out there, there's a man on Caladom going, well, they said they'd get here as quickly as possible. So where are they?
We're like,
I want that to be my short-term goal,
pace.
to talk to Iona.
No, you guys are way off track. You did a whole extra job, then a second job, and now you could potentially wait up to 2 weeks.
We'll see.
We'll see. You are expected on Caladom. You've taken the money for the job already.
Yeah, Quentin will be arguing to go there.
Okay.
With expedience.
Having goals that contradict are always good.
Yeah.
It was a session. A lot happened.
Yeah. For real.
I want to know what you think's going on with you, Van-Vee. Despite the fact you didn't think there'd be a lot going on with you this episode, I think secretly this episode will be pivotal in the future. People will look back and be like, wow, there were so many hints.
This was the one.
This was the one.
Yeah, well, during the break, we were saying, I had noticed previously when you gave the description in the meta dimension, you didn't mention Iono. And I thought that meant it was something about her, not that it was probably something about Van-Vee.
That's such an interesting conclusion. Maybe I didn't comment on it for some reason.
Specifically. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I guess with only 2 humans, there's no way I would have known either way. So that worked out well.
Yeah.
I'm leaning on not abusing the weird rules for AI. And I'm waiting till we get a bunch of evidence, and it seems like we're at a critical point to use the automatic Sherlockian deduction, make the DM answer a yes or no question type thing.
Yeah.
Because I could spam it all the time, but then it's like it's just abusing it, and it becomes sort of a dick move. I'm waiting for
More
important stuff.
I feel like it would instantly reveal you as being an AI.
be super hyper deductive in a random moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone's going to go, there's no way you could know that. You're lying.
I feel like
or you've come
It's
to
elementary,
an
my dear Iono.
I feel like that's like when you don't finish the escape room in time, but you still want to know how to answer that puzzle. That's when you use it.
I want to imagine that if this was a gotcha game, like Watson Iono has the like Sherlock Holmes Duck Hunter hat as for like her limited edition, special seasonal event. Iono. I love how you've basically kidnapped her and are trying to make her part of this crew, despite the fact she has almost
like,
no
you love
relevant
us, right?
skills.
You think we're great. You know you do.
I honestly think it's Van-Vee is honestly trying to prove that they're not bad people, like she thought for the longest time, and she might already believe that, but Van-Vee still has to prove it.
She definitely doesn't think that you're good people. She's just her worldview. Her primary skill so far has been Google.
I do think MINERVA has a particular interest in Iono, but it's not something that's actionable yet. So
I almost said when Kodo started Googling who Quentin was, I was like, oh, he has the power to Google too.
What is this class feature?
Now, just to be clear, Googling
it's the expert feature
in stars without numbers is only checking local databases.
Right.
Different planets are not tied together unless they're in the same solar system.
He specifically returned with the ambassadorial thing because we have the ambassadorial license on the ship.
Yeah, he just Googled the name Quentin Alexander Polk IV and found out that you were an important person on Lita.
Yeah, it counts.
That's it.
Man.
Well,
there's a lot of fun mysteries, and I can't wait to see where they tie together, where they differ. It's going to be fun.
Can't wait to see how we get everything completely wrong and just run in the wrong direction till it kills us.
Mm-hmm. We met Old Kahara, yep.
Yeah.
And Quentin almost got everybody into a fairly large fight.
Wow.
Just call me the tank pilot.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I get
you're very healthy.
I get a free bonus pool of hit points for the armature, and you have almost literally twice my hit points.
I just can't wait till we figure out whatever the heck's in my head is like doubling my health all this time.
What sort of engineering's going on in you?
Yeah.
Where did you come from? Where were you built? Are there in fact no regular people on this ship?
40 hit points. Incredible.
That's amazing.
I'm now at this point where I can laugh at Oath of Endoseal going, God, level 1 and 2 is so fragile. Nope.
It should be mentioned that
partial.
Yeah, Oath of Endoseal is using Stars That Numbers first edition for their upcoming season 4. So now I have 2 Stars Without Numbers show at the same time.
Have fun crossing rules from first and second back and forth.
Right? Yeah, that's going to be hard.
The problem for me has always been second edition. I'm like, make a tech saving throw. And you're like, what the hell is a tech saving throw? And I'm like, fuck, first edition.
That's true.
I haven't seen first edition, but I really enjoy the second edition. I think it's a nice, solid, like...
First edition doesn't have focuses, which is why I use it instead of second. Focuses are really tied to the Stars Without Numbers world. First edition is pretty similar to skill system, and leveling works a bit different, but yeah. You should know it is available free on Drive-Thru-RPG. Stars Without Numbers free edition.
Good to know.
Doesn't get all the artwork and it doesn't get all the optional additional Game Master rules, but you can get all the base stuff for free.
Cool.
Also doesn't come with the AI rules.
I don't think first edition had AI rules. You're gonna make me open it up and look now. I don't think AIs were characters in first edition, but it was definitely something people asked for. Let's see here.
It's cool so far. I enjoy the constant pressure to keep MINERVA secret.
Yeah, there's a chapter on robots and mechs, but there's not one for robots as characters.
I do think it's funny how you guys are like, oh, in like next level or in 2 levels, I'll be able to, teleport the entire group from one planet to another, like instant transmission, or I'll be able to like force whatever situation by taking over another AI and make my own AI army. And I'm like, yeah, well, I can go to pilot 3.
I was wrong. Kain was right. There are AI rules. It's not called true AI. Okay. It's just called AI.
Gotcha.
But now I have this thing in my head.
Yeah, you have a thing in your head. How do you feel about that?
What do you think it is, and why do you think it's there?
Yeah, what do you think it is?
It makes me think you guys don't know what it is. Well, based on it being an extra gland, I don't have a clue, honestly. Feels like my stupid first reaction was like nervous system and blood. Okay, so it feels like something if I ever get like a panic attack, it induces more adrenaline and makes me go crazy or something.
Like a rage gland or something.
Yeah, well, because I just watched Firefly recently. It's the thing that makes the thing that forces the what are those called?
Reavers?
Reavers, yeah. Just waiting
to happen.
Yeah, just waiting for the time to go off, especially because Iono was scared. Makes sense. I'm still not sure she disclosed everything, but we'll see.
I don't know.
What do you guys think that is? Yeah, I'm curious about the other two.
It's Quentin. I mean, like, it saw it in metadimensional space, right? Saw something.
You didn't see the organ, but you saw the weird space dust.
Right. Weird
like
space
the dust might have been obscuring what the real thing was.
For sure. It feels like it's somehow psionically active or psionically related in some way, shape, or form. So it's something related to some of those power sets, at least that in his head.
My current thought process is that your father escaped from a colony of some kind that was practicing genetic engineering, and they wanted to try to find a way to create psionic sensitivity.
I like that.
That's really interesting.
And you're not. At least not right now.
And they failed.
Whether it was growing that from something that they took from a psionic, or if it was a transplant from a psionic. I think somebody tried to make psionics.
There's a trigger.
And your dad ran away with you.
Interesting.
Yeah, now you're making him sound like the good guy. That ain't true.
I really like the idea that
he's got a twin. Guy. We know that.
Yeah, and that was one of the parts of my idea with the genetic engineering and
cloning,
and the surgery gone wild type thing is a colony practicing Meltech.
Just feeling some Bad Batch vibes while you were talking here. Like,
oh man.
Hopefully not the last episode of Bad Batch, like previous better episodes of Bad Batch.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's amazing because this season has had so many great episodes, and then they had Pabu, and I was like, what the fuck?
Pabu.
Yeah,
Minerva doesn't have a reason. Minerva doesn't have a reason to, so this is of course just my idle musings. I would like to do a genetic analysis of Van-Vee.
Very interesting. I mean, you have access to the auto doc. It doesn't have that, like, you need a doctor to do something like that, or a doctoral level BI program, but you could sell his data to somebody. You have access to it.
I really want a genetic analysis of you in this gland.
Ultimate hypocrite. Oh yeah, data privacy, blah 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 blah. Give me your.
We're about to go to a system that has extensive medical facilities, as far as I would consider it.
0503.
Yeah.
It has 3 different planets. TL5, TL4, so pretty good place to go, and TL1.
Not so much there.
Probably not there. You probably don't like that one.
And that could be a way to convince the captain it's worth spending some time here, is to try to convince Van-Vee. to get some testing
Gotta
with a
break
real
some
doctor.
ships. I don't know.
Now it's
I
been a
have to go
while.
through my 15-step process.
It's been a while since I did the pre and post episode little vignettes. I kind of let them fall away for a while because we're just in the middle of things. But here, just to walk us off camera, I want to do your ship coming out, transitioning from drill back into real space. And not too far from your ship, there is this huge, massive, glimmering golden cylinder that has like multiple, it's like a flower has peeled out of it, and it has numerous small cargo lighters and a couple of fighters flying around it. And on one of the golden hull panelings that has been pulled away from the core of the ship, it says FFS Barry.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's not the thing you need to be worried about. This is a beautiful, almost Gantrathorian or Star Wars strike carrier type, or is it called strike cruiser, the modular Imperial ship? No, that's not the thing I need you to be worried about. Is knifing in the darkness from around the side of it is a much smaller, but much bigger than your ship. It's almost 4 times the size of your ship, but has such deeper hull plating and huge amounts of weaponry. Is one of the elemental class cruisers, just like a shark sails out from behind it and begins moving in between the two of your ships to keep you from approaching it.
Oh, okay.
And so we see on the side of that, it says FFS calcium.
Okay.
The elemental ships are all named after periodic table elements.
Makes
I
sense.
saw Van-Vee, was like, huh?
So,
Closing thoughts?
well, we met one AI in the last system. We're meeting a second here.
What do
Minerva,
you
you're
think of
getting
the
family
chances?
together.
What are the chances you think that the two of them talk?
Good question.
I think it'll be a one-way conversation. Hey, want to be my friend? Can you be my friend?
Oh no, I was thinking.
Ooh, does Minerva
was
reach
it
out immediately the same
MFB?
way?
You want
MF
murder for hire
MFH.
and
Yeah, whether or not whether murder for hire in fairy talk.
Oh.
Because if they do, then fairy already knows. And if they don't, I don't know.
Are we good for next week? Next Monday?
So far.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of nods. What mysteries could we find out? Will someone pay $2,000 to send Jean Koto home? Will the captain be convinced to wait here for 2 weeks? What is happening with the carrier? Can we make it to Kalanom to finally do this salvage job that we've been promising for over half of a season? Find out next time, and more, and maybe the secrets of Van-Vee's brain.
Later.
Oh, is that the ending screen? Oh shit, I guess I better leave.